What's happening, good people? We're back at it again. And I made a video a little while ago that kind of gotten some rejuvenation, not by my own parts, but somebody reposting it in another like Facebook group page, something like that. And I have to say, actually, for the most part, it was pretty much civil. And so I'd like to give a lot of credit to everybody that was commenting in there, because a lot of times you see when you do these type of videos, people are always like saying that these people are so ruthless and totally like I guess like wavering. And they are very passionate, but they do listen and they do have their view on things. And a lot of them brought up some really good points. Some of them I really didn't understand too much. This video is just filled with a bunch of this guy's insecurities. I don't know why I even listened for the last 6 minutes of it. Because like for me, being insecure, I don't know what that would be. I'm a really bad guitar player that started a YouTube channel that's throwing himself out there. So I really don't know what that's all about.
My son has 16 of these in his basement, and he says they all sound excellent.
I'm just joshing about that one. I got one of them guitars. It was pretty dang good. I just needed to do a little adjustment to the frets. The tuners, one of them was broken, so I had to fix that. And then, yeah, I put a whole bunch of new pickups in it. But yeah, it sounds really great now. And that one, that was just literally a joke. That's 6 minutes of my life that I am never gonna get back. Can't believe he made me watch that. Anyway, so today we're back at it with another Firefly. And here she is. At the time of this filming, there was 8 left of this model. And the first thing I have to notice from the difference between this box and the box that the Explorer came in was that one was kind of like a lift top, where this one is open from the side. Not a big deal. It's nice to see that there's some sort of changes or whatever. I thought it was nice that the Explorer came the way it was, because it was a lot easier to unbox for YouTube presentation purposes. But hopefully it's in the same good styrofoam packaging, which actually it is even better right off the bat. So if you go, I'll leave a link down below to the Firefly unboxing, which again, that one came from Amazon, but I don't know if that means it's any different. But the top was thin. It's good enough. It's still protected, but this top, when I get it out of the box, I mean, look how thick that top is. I don't know what it is with Fender or anybody else. Why can't they package guitars like this? I guess maybe ecologically, thinking about it, this is a lot of styrofoam. Styrofoam's bad. Drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad.
But yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot where I put my knife. Been doing a lot of unboxings lately. But I'm expecting like a super well protected guitar. And some of the posts from this recent drop I've seen, there have been some issues. I don't know if it's just a line down the neck or if it's a crack on the neck. A couple of bad pickups. In this particular model, I've seen somebody post where the control knobs were not as pictured. That's one thing that definitely everyone could agree on, is the pictures need to be better. If they're sending out these guitars ahead of time to YouTubers, I have not been sent this one, I bought this myself, where they are gonna do a review, then I think they have enough time to open up a box or two and take the actual pictures, because sometimes they go by the stock photos, so you don't know if you're getting what you saw on the actual picture. And sometimes they actually even post where it has zebra pickups and chrome pickups. And well, this is actually not the guitar I expected. They must have mixed up the shipping labels, because one that said was delivered was actually the one that was 8 left, and the other one that is on its way, I guess, tomorrow, is the one that this was supposed to be about. But regardless, this is actually pretty cool because I've always been saying when I wanted the Explorer that if I knew I could only get a limited run of the Firefly, that I really wish I got a Les Paul. Well, I got a Les Paul. So I guess you'll have to wait for the video on the Randy Rhodes V, and hopefully they'll be in stock still when time I get to shoot that video. But instead, we got this nice, beautiful brown Les Paul. You can still smell the paint. But man, right out of the box, just the way it feels, I mean, it feels just as good as any single Epiphone out there. I know some people, I guess it's all relative when you think about the price and everything, what a guitar is valued to, but I don't think it's fair to really compare them to a Gibson Les Paul. But I mean, right off the bat, the feel of it feels just like the Slash Epiphone Les Paul that we gave away not too long ago. And I'm really pleasantly surprised. They were talking about how the inlays were yellow on this thing, and they really look like a aged yellow and not a bright yellow. That was going to be my major concern, and they couldn't tell too well in the pictures, but I actually have to go refresh my memory now on what this actually looked like, so I'll be right back because I was expecting something different. I just checked the images. Everything looks exactly like the way it is, so it's no problems compared to other. I should have probably assumed by the packaging, the actual name on the box was, it had the FFSP. I had just thought maybe that might have been the stamping on. I should have expected a VX, but for whatever reason, the shipping label, and that's, hey, they sent me two at once, so that's not really something that I could argue with. Just one got slowed up in shipping for some reason, so I was expecting to do something different. The top looks a little bit different, but nothing crazy to the point where you'd be like, that was very misleading. And yeah, so what I'm gonna do first is actually gonna play this just for sound samples, and then we're gonna go over and do a complete deep dive on this. But my initial impression right out of the box, buy this thing all day. I'm not retracting anything or anything like that, and it was kind of nice. And I don't know, some people will probably say now they have too much stock, but this drop, I don't know if it's because it had all of the regular colors, that there was, you know, so much to choose from that it's not moving as fast. But it was nice to actually be able to not have to be quick on the jump, where actually I thought I was being quick on the jump with the I don't know if you recall the Randy Rhodes V. It's the like a King V instead. But I kind of jumped on that one quick and bought this at the same time, thinking that one was going to go quick. And that one never actually got taken off or on. And at the time of this, it's, you know, 8 left. And who knows, by the time I actually be able to get that one in stock here, do an unboxing, and I'm just rambling. Let's get playing, and then we'll get into the deep dive of this whole thing. All right, so first things first, the tuners felt like butter. They engaged right away, no problem whatsoever, nothing loose, nothing rattling whatsoever. I know sometimes some people say that they found like spotty issues with the tuners. Fantastic. Intonation, just with a clip-on tuner, it's spot on, like right out of the box. So when we get on the bench, we'll use another tuner plugged right in and go over it completely, but have it in the neck position. Going in the middle. bridge position. Initial take on it, out of the box, and it's pretty dang good. You know, the frets are awesome. They're the strings, obviously they haven't been stretched. First thing I would do would replace strings anyway, but I like to do like completely out of the box reviews. Do some chord strumming now. Tonal variation with the tone knobs, not terrible. I've heard some people say, like very minute changes in them whatsoever, but that just could be easily done through a pot change. I'm gonna do a little overdrive on this. We're just gonna start in the neck position. And then in the middle position. And then in the bridge position. Just gonna do some checking, make sure no buzzing before we get this thing on the bench. So no dead frets. We'll try bending. Well, I can tell you that it didn't deaden out with any bends, no buzzing. There's a little bit on the low E at times from my pick attack, so it's probably just from the actual string height, which is totally adjustable. The action on this thing out of the box is really, really good. So I would almost think, and you might even assume, that they know who I am after the video that came out on their channel, and they sent me a guitar completely spec'd out. So I actually used like an email that isn't tied to the channel, so they would have no clue that this was coming to me. The box did not look like it was like, you know, opened several times. The styrofoam had like original tape on it really, so it wasn't like anybody took this out, QC'd or anything like that. But that's what it feels like to me. And I am totally secure about, you know, changing my opinion or, you know, what have you, but not saying that the people that have had issues are valid. And we'll see when we get the second one if it still holds true. But I think I might already be heading over to my laptop to go buy another one of these. All right, let's get on the bench and see, you know, the full specs on it. All right, so the intonation right out of the box ain't all that bad. Adjust it now, but we're gonna be taking the strings off of this and doing deep dive measurements, and I'll put my own strings on it too, so that's when I'll actually intonate it, but right out of the box, you're not gonna notice anything that's all that bad. So next we're gonna check the nut slot. All right, so we're gonna do the nut slot gauge for you here. We're zeroed out. We're at 0.78. 0.77. These are all millimeters. I'll do it conversion on the screen for you if you haven't noticed already. Up to the G string, or D string, sorry, 0.69 millimeters. .01 millimeters. The B string, 1.02 millimeters. And then the high E is 0.88 millimeters. Out of the box, there's some daylight across the board, but we're gonna wind up checking the frets on this anyway, so we're gonna eventually flatten that out, but definitely not bad at all. And so the action at the 12th fret set up is 1.75 millimeters on the low E, which is about a medium high. And then the high E is about the same at 1.75. Pickup height, we're at 3.30 millimeters on the bass side, on the neck pickup, and are at a 4 on the bridge. Then on the high E side, the treble side, hard to see with the screw kind of displacing a little bit, but we're at about a 4.4 on the neck, and then we're at about a 4 on the bridge. We're gonna get the strings off. It's always good to give these a little bit of a check. Make sure that they are all tight. Yeah, you don't have to wrench them down like no tomorrow, but a couple of them moved a little bit, but with not too much. To get the weight for you before, 8.8 pounds. So the bridge is actually kind of nice. It's not the cheap metal that's kind of like tinny. It's got some good weight to it, non-branded. Sometimes people have said they've seen like, I guess, Epiphone on there. But yeah. Posts are a little wobbly, but you know, for what it's, you know, whatever you feel like. But you could use some thread tape to tighten them up. Under tension, I don't think it's really all that bad, but I'm gonna let the neck set for a little bit. So while we're doing that, we might as well test the pickups. All right, so here's our handy dandy little meter we got here. If you want, there'll be a link down below in the description for where you can pick one up, because this one actually helps you figure out more than just the output. If you haven't seen from our previous video, there'll be a link to that too in the description. But we're gonna start off with the output first of the neck position. We're at a 7.64. And then we go to the middle position and we're at a 5.2. And then in the bridge, we're at a 14.62. Next, we're gonna go to the inductance of the bridge position is a 5.2. And the inductance of the neck position is a 3.34. And then in the neck position for the capacitance, we're at a 2.8. And in the bridge, we are at a 13.6. All right, so I had moved it over and made sure it was flat as possible. So there's equal light here and here and a little bit here. So I think it's just that it's not back bow, because that'd be like more kind of center, at least in my opinion. I think it's just the fretboard's a little bit higher here at this point, like not much, because it is all in all equal light. So the level is kind of like teetering right there. Because no matter what little tiny adjustments I did, it wouldn't eliminate the light. So when it's, to me, that's about as flat as it's gonna get. And to me, that's just bouncing off of that little spot right there. Because going off the frets, it looks pretty good. This one right here needs a little work, but tapping in helped a little bit. All in all, tapping in did some good in some areas and some not so much. But I mean, you're gonna have issues, I think, with any real guitar. And overall, nothing that I would really complain about. All right, so we're gonna measure the nut now. We got a width of 42.43 millimeters, or 1.665 inches. All right, so we're gonna do the width of the first fret is 43.63 millimeters, or 1.717 inches. Width at the 12th fret is 53.34 millimeters, or 2.1 inches. Thickness of the first fret is 23.39 millimeters, or 0.921 inches. Thickness at the 12th fret is 25.17 millimeters, or 0.991 inches. So the fret is 2.75 millimeters, or 0.108 inches. And then the depth is, or the height is 1.18 millimeters, or 0.046 inches. All right, so the cavities is not shielding paint. See, so just to get the signal there, if I touch one pot to the next pot, they're grounded. But touching the sides, anywhere else, nothing. Touching a pot, nothing. Not a big deal, but I have 500 on the pots. Give you some close-ups right now, and that's pretty much it. All right, well, that's about wraps this whole thing up. Let me know. Obviously, probably have a Firefly. If you don't, check them out. Let me know which one you're looking at. And if you do, let me know which models you have in the comment section below. To me, I don't think it's still something to hawk after, really, in the sense of having to watch the site constantly. I don't know. I mean, I'm still up in there about that, because you can get some really, really great guitars out there when it's the special line. But man, I'm telling you, I'm so happy that they gave the regular, models out there. The traditional type stuff is out there, because even it seemed like those were sometimes hard to grab. You've all been a fantastic audience, and as always, stay tuned.